Good afternoon from Belmont Police Station in Perth. I'm with Constable Tony Woods. Tony, thank you so much for welcoming Policing TV to Belmont Police Station. You're going to give us a guided tour of the premises here at Belmont.
Yeah, I am. So yeah, welcome to Belmont. This is a fairly new station. It was rebuilt, I think, approximately 18 months ago. It houses about 50 police officers at the moment, with 4 teams through a rotating roster. What we're going to do first, we're going to go through here, we're going to introduce you to the foyer, we're going to go see where the police do most of their work, and then we'll go through the charge register and a lot of the armoury and stuff. We'll show you some of the fun bits as well, so let's take a look.
Lead on.
So this is our front counter. This is where people come in with complaints. They might have complaints ranging from anything where it's property related, or they want to complain about any offences that have occurred to themselves or property. We also have people reporting for bail here as well, so people that have been charged, released from court, and then they're reporting for bail. So this phone here is used for bail, or we can do that manually as well. Through this room here, just to the right, is our complainant or interview room. Generally people will come in here, they'll speak to police, they might provide a statement or give any information in regards to an incident that's happened. Generally in instances of family violence, we can take reports in here, but in sensitive cases we do refer to Carissa, who's back through here. So Carissa works for a company called RUA. I'll let Carissa explain it best for you, okay? So we'll come through here. And Carissa is in this office here.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good to see you. Now, you're kindly going to explain us something about the work of RUA and the support that you provide for victims who are complaining of domestic violence or similar.
Yep, so I can work with anyone in the city of Belmont, in those 7 suburbs, who are experiencing family domestic violence. Unlike other domestic violence services, I can work with men and women, and I can also work with people who are still living with the perpetrator. I work with what the client wants to do. They might still want to stay in that relationship, and we just work on keeping them safe. Or if they're wanting to leave the relationship, we can put in some plans to do that. If they've already left the relationship, just kind of continuing to try and make them as safe as we can possibly can. I work with the police quite a lot and other services, and that's pretty much it.
Specific support for those victims, those who are in need of support at their time of particular need. Well, it's available here through you. It
is available, but sometimes it's just having a conversation about their situation. Other times it's more practical help and support.
Carissa, thank you very much indeed.
Welcome. Thank you.
This will come through to our main area. So this is where our front counter staff, through the front here. People like Ben, they keep the station running. If it wasn't for them, unfortunately, we'd be flooded with people with complaints. So thankfully, thanks to people like that. We'll come through here. Michael running through, he's our cadet. He does a lot of work for us as well. As you can see here, this is the general policing area. This is where we do a lot of our paperwork. You can see over there, there's a lot of computer desks that are empty. This is to aid in the influx of police officers that we are getting with recruiting at the moment. We do have a large number of UK officers coming through, and obviously a lot of local police officers coming through, so hopefully those desks will be filled quite soon. Through here is the sergeant's desk. In here, they give us all the advice that we can get and more. We come through here. This is where our admin and our CCTV policing work. So they'll go through and try to identify people through CCTV. This is where they work. Our OIC and detectives office through here.
Go after that.
And our detectives office through there. Little bit of admin stuff here, printing, all your paperwork gets filed here. Through here is where a lot of us try and spend our time before and after work. This is our gym. It may look small, but it does offer a fair bit of space. It's better than a lot of places because it is quite new. We have been gifted these facilities, which is quite lucky for us. So we do spend a lot of our time down here, thankfully. We'll come through this way here. We'll skirt through this part here. This is just all change rooms and lockers. We don't need to worry about this too much. This is just where people leave their clothes. coming through here, these are all PSLs.
PSL being?
So a personal service locker. So this is where you'd leave just a lot of your kit belt, hats, stuff for court, and any other just miscellaneous items really. Through this door here, we can throw you through this door here. So this is our property room. I won't go in it too deep, but basically a lot of property that just gets handed in from either members of the public or that's been lost and stuff like that. So here is our armoury. On this wall here, this is just where we have our service blocks. At the start and end of each shift, these will be locked up here with a padlock. The magazines, the firearms as well are kept in there. We also have tasers as well, which are these ones we hold on in the front of our belts. These will be kept over here. The tasers are kept in here, and the taser cartridges are kept in here. So these will get signed in and out at the start and at the end of each shift. And through here is what's called an APC 100. So this is what we use when we're loading up our firearms. We'll stick our nozzle of our firearm into the APC 100 and load up our magazine that way. This is the safest practice to do it, just in case of any misfires like that. Same with our tasers here. We will work on rolling through our tasers here, just in case of any accidental misfires or anything like that. So this is always safest practice to do everything here. So this is where our equipment room is. So first of all, we have all our radios through here. Hopefully we're going to be upgrading in some new radios soon. And all our body-worn cameras through here as well. So the body-worn cameras, which is mounted on my chest here, these are used fairly regularly every time we have an interaction with a member of the public. We'll generally use these. Down here in the black ones, we have our stingers. So the stingers are used to stop vehicles. So if a vehicle is evading from police, that'll generally get thrown across the street and will tear out the tyres of the vehicle speeding away. Over here is our mode of entry, so our MOE, our mode of entry gear. So this here is called a hux. I'll pull that out. So this here is called a hux, and that'll be able to get through fly screen doors generally. And the bigger boy down here, which is a fair bit heavier, I won't be lifting that one, that's to get through heavy wooden doors. That's to force entry through them. Generally they'll be used for welfare checks and stuff like that to make sure people are okay, or if people are holed up inside a house. Over this side here is all our body armour. So our body armour, which is what I'm wearing now, they either have the high-vis tabards on them, or they got the covert, which is just all dark. These weigh generally about 10 to 15 kilos, depending what you have on it. And the belts as well will generally weigh about 5 kilos as well, depending on what you have on it. So these will all be left up here. They're all individually assigned as well.
Okay, just before we move on, Tony, you've got the vest on and the equipment. We've run through most of the items on there. So the body-worn video, the taser, you've got your radio, you've got a bag just next door, yes?
Yeah.
Contents of that?
So generally I'll put this in, so this is just my pass in here, my police ID. I'll keep my notebook in there and my police issued phone as well. So all WAPol operational police officers will have a police issued phone. And on the phones, you'll be able to get tasked to jobs, you'll be able to put your location on, you can generally get a lot of information on jobs as well on there, so it is basically a mini computer inside of our pocket. Okay, and then going round, you've got what looks like an ASP. So this is an OC, this is my OC pouch,
spray,
so I've got the OC in there.
Yeah.
Got that one there. That gets serviced every day as well.
Yeah.
This is my Glock, because I'm left-handed, so it's on my left. On there, and then my taser on here as well. Also keep a torch here.
Yes.
Also, then my second magazine's held in there as well. And then I have just a multi-tool in here, so it's just a screwdriver and a pocket knife and stuff like that to just get me out of a tough situation whenever I need to, yeah.
Okay, and then round the back, is there anything further?
So
that's just your vest, and you've got your cuffs on that.
I've got my cuffs on this side
far
as well.
Side as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got my cuffs just there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
let's move on.
Perfect. So through here, for our holding cells. So we don't keep people here long term, we only have people here short term. So if they're being interviewed or they're being processed for a charge, we'll hold them in here and we can monitor them on CCTV into that general policing area from before.
Let's just have a look in first. They're pretty standard, the world over.
They've got the water fountain there, they've got the toilet down there as well. Whilst people are in here, we'll feed and drink them, obviously. And if it is cold, in times like this, we'll give them some blankets and stuff like that.
Two holding cells. You take prisoners from here to the main Perth.
Yeah, they generally either get released here, they'll get released to summons or get released on bail. But if they're being remanded to have their bail refused, they'll get taken to the Perth Watch House where they'll stay overnight, and then they'll go to court in the morning, and then the magistrate will decide what's going to happen from there.
Okay, and we're walking through the process as if they're being released rather than coming in. So
yeah, exactly. So if they're being processed for a charge and they're going to be released, so generally we'll start here. This area is a bit black, unfortunately, because it's filled with ink. We do ink prints here.
Yep.
So we'll do our ink station here, get all the fingerprints for your fingers and your palms.
So this would be on the way in. We'll see in a second where the prisoners actually come in.
Yeah, exactly. So you do that here, and then they'll basically get their photos taken on this wall here, and they'll generally sit here and have a chat. This is where we might call a family or friend for them, call a lawyer for them or something like that, and process them through the system here as well. Take all their property if they have any property on them. And process it through
Okay,
there.
and just behind me and behind us is this holding cell. So if you have a potentially violent prisoner, then you could put them in this.
Yeah, so this is what's called a fishbowl, and it's called a fishbowl because we can watch them like a fish, basically. So when we're here, we can watch them when they're we got the cameras all through the room, so we can watch them on CCTV as well. If they're generally violent, we'll probably go straight into there. But if they're fairly compliant, we're happy to sit them in here, even leave the door open sometimes and have a chat with them. Because if they're not causing us any issues, there's no need for them to necessarily be too locked up. But this is the fishbowl whilst they're waiting to get all their property and everything processed. And then once all that's processed, they'll go back into the cell or they'll get released through the front.
Okay, and through this final door, for us on this journey through, is actually the place that I never want to be brought to unwillingly. So.
No, exactly. So this is basically the sally port. So that roller door there will allow for police vehicles to roll in. Once they've rolled in, the prisoner will generally stay in the vehicle. Police will, whilst we are inside that room from before, we're not allowed to have our firearms on us. So that's policy. So we will load and unload our firearms. So unload our firearms in here. However, we'll go over to the APC 100 first. Same process again as before, as we did in the armoury. Unload our firearm, put them in the secure locker, and then we can take people through. It's just policy, it's safe practice, and it covers our butt just in case something happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tony Woods, Constable Tony Woods of Western Australia Police, thank you so much for taking us through Belmont Police Station.
That's okay, thank you very much.